Hello, welcome to another New Zealand Working Holiday Visa video. Today we are going to be focusing on the medical requirements, what you need to provide, do you need to go and get an appointment, how to do that, who to do that with, all of the above and probably a little bit more. If this is your first time watching, hello, my name's Aurora. Me and my partner Richard are going to be going to New Zealand for 2 years to go exploring, hopefully maybe do a little bit of work, but honestly we're just in it for the adventure. If you are a little bit confused about exactly what a working holiday visa is and what I'm even talking about, go and watch my previous video which gives you kind of the underlying basics of what a working holiday visa specifically to New Zealand is. As always, I just want to preface that this is our sort of specific experience, so anytime I'm discussing what we've done and the process that we went through, it is from our way of doing it from the UK going to New Zealand for a working holiday visa. So if you are from another country going to another country or doing a different visa, results may vary, basically. Now, New Zealand are really cautious, rightly so, about who and what they let into the country, so they're super strict at border control in terms of what you can bring into the country, what things need to be declared, and part of that means that they're really aware of the medical status, I guess, the health status of everyone that's coming into the country. So as part of the working holiday visa, you are going to have to provide a whole bunch of medical information. Exactly what you need to provide depends on three main things. The first thing is going to be your length of stay in the country. So we specifically are going to be going for about 2 years, which means what we have to provide might be different to what someone who's going to travel for a year or less would have to provide. Related to this, the second thing that might differ is where you are from, or even what country you're applying from. Essentially, your length of stay might be determined by the country that you're in when you apply, and your length of stay is going to determine what you need to provide. I hope that made sense. And the third point is to do with where you have been in the past. So if you have spent more than 3 months in the last 5 years in a country that does not have low instances of TB, then you're going to have to provide some medical information. Specifically, that does mean that you will have to provide an X-ray. If you're outside of New Zealand and you're going to be outside of the country when you apply and submit for your visa and medical information, more than likely you're going to have to do a chest X-ray, sorry. If you're going to be there for 6 to 12 months and you are from a country that does not have low TB, or again, you've spent 3 months or more in the last 5 years in a country that does not have low TB, you're going to have to get one anyway. And if you are going to be spending over 12 months in New Zealand, regardless of where you're from or where you've been, you're going to have to get a chest X-ray. If you're wondering about which countries that is, basically on the New Zealand immigration website, I'll put a little screenshot here, they do have kind of a drop-down list and you basically would scroll through that and see if your country is or is not on that list. Now, if you are already in New Zealand and you're already there for whatever reason and you're deciding I want to apply now for a working holiday visa, again, probably going to have to do the X-ray and a medical appointment, which I will get onto in a second. But there are technically three instances where that isn't the case. So if you are from Austria and you're currently in New Zealand and you want to apply for a working holiday visa, if you have been there for less than 6 months, then you do not need to provide anything yet. After 6 months though, you do need to provide an X-ray and a medical exam. If you are from Malaysia or Singapore, kind of similar. If you've been there for over 6 months, you need to provide a medical and an X-ray. If you've been there for less than 6 months, just the X-ray. And then obviously at 6 months, you need to do the medical anyway. Not sure why, don't understand the reason or rhyme. I'm sure there is a perfectly good reason, but there we go. In terms of the X-rays, I believe that children under the age of 11 or pregnant people do not need to have an X-ray unless a special report is required. Now, with everything that I'm saying, for whatever reason, at any point, New Zealand immigration could contact you and request any of this. So even if it looks like you're pretty sure you don't need the X-ray or you don't need to fill something out, there is always kind of the tiny percentage chance that they could contact you for some reason and say, hey, actually, we are going to need you to provide this information now. So just beware. That kind of leads on to the medical exam. Now, I've been traveling before and I've done working abroad, obviously on a much smaller scale. Basically, all that meant was going to my GP, giving him a form and ticking off that I didn't have any of the diseases listed. Boom, 20 quid, done, out in 10 minutes. This is a very different case. Now, for the medical exam, if you're going to be in New Zealand for over a year, you will have to provide a medical examination report. If you're going to be there for less than a year, you actually don't need to do this unless the visa that you've got is going to actually technically allow you to stay for over a year.
Next for me was working out what order to do things in. There are two main options. One, do your visa first, I found on the immigration website that once you've been approved, you have 2 weeks to get the medical info uploaded. Or option 2, have the medical appointment, which is then valid for 3 months, in which time you would need to submit your visa application.
We actually filled out our application, which there will be a video on the entire process of that. Super quick and easy, so if you're panicking about it or you just kind of want to see what it'll be like, that will be coming up next. So make sure you subscribe to see more behind the scenes of how to plan a working holiday visa coming soon. So we waited to actually fully submit. We just filled the whole application out, left it there, left it finished but didn't submit and pay anything, and we then waited for the medical appointment. When you have had your medical appointment and all of your results, test results, scans, whatever it is you've had to get, all of that gets uploaded onto the New Zealand immigration database, I guess. Once that is there, it is valid for 3 months. So that means you've got a 3-month window to do your visa application. Now, I initially on hearing that thought, that's the easiest option, that feels safe, that feels stress-free, and it means that we can kind of budget our way through, and that is actually what we ended up doing. However, now having finished that whole process, you definitely can do the visa application first. Don't stress too much about that 2-week gap, because as long as you've booked your appointment, you will be sent a certificate or just like a sheet basically explaining all about your appointment, when it's booked, what time, what date, everything, and you can actually submit that to New Zealand immigration so that they know, okay, we're going to pause that 2 weeks because you have got the appointment booked. That's not what we did. That still stresses me out a little bit, but that option is there. And when we actually applied and sent off the visa, one of the documents that they sent back pretty much explained that. It is a much more simple, stress-free process than I keep thinking it is, but I'm still finding the slightly less stressful way a bit easier. This brings me to the slightly complicated, confusing, mildly frustrating part that we faced, booking the appointment. Now, don't get me wrong, once we actually got through to the correct people to book the appointment, it was a breeze. It was super simple, didn't even have to call anybody, just did it all over email and online, everything was sent super fast. However, getting to that point took a week, 10 days maybe. For the medical exam, the x-ray, whatever else it is that you're going to need, you must use panel physicians that New Zealand immigration basically have approved essentially. On their website, when you get to the medical part, you can type in your country and it will give you the full list of possible available clinics, hospitals, whatever it is, that will be able to provide this service for you that have basically been approved by New Zealand immigration. Super simple, super easy. Not only that, it tells you the name, the address, the email, the phone number, how to contact them, everything that you might possibly need to know. Beautiful. Thank you, New Zealand. When we typed in the UK, thankfully, there was not just one in the UK, there were actually 8-ish. Technically 7. I'll get to that. So there are 2 in Scotland, so 1 in Glasgow, 1 in Edinburgh. There are 2 in London, there's 1 in Manchester, 1 down in Devon and Berkshire. Saw Cardiff, went bing, 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 perfect. It's literally 10 minutes down the road, super convenient. A little too convenient, apparently, according to the universe, because it is not true. After our ridiculous, crazy trace of phone calls and emails and oh my God, it was a nightmare. Basically, we looked at the list again and we were like, right, where is the next closest? And the nearest one, the shortest drive for us, is down in Plymouth. So I went to the website before I even emailed. I just wanted to have a nose. It was talking about your Australian visa stuff, New Zealand, other visas, just all of the visa medical stuff seemed to be happening there. They actually type it into their database, what visa we're doing, what country you're going to, and it will generate specifically what tests that you need done in that medical appointment. Unfortunately, it came back saying that we needed a lot more than just the medical and the x-ray. We also had to do a urine test and blood tests, which adds up. The total amount per person was about £680. I'll put it here because I can't remember the specifics right now. In terms of the information to prep you for the appointment, I'm going to run through that quick. So like I said, they sent us an email that had a few things just to let you know what the appointment's going to be like, how it's going to work, what you might need to bring or do. As of 2025, end of 2025, they were only doing the visa appointments on Thursdays. For the appointment itself, you will need to bring your original valid passport. It needs to be in date. It needs to be in date for when you go and when you come back, but it can't be a photocopy or a picture of it. You need the physical passport. They did ask for that immediately on arrival, so if you don't have that, there is absolutely no way you are getting the appointment done, basically. They advised us that the appointment would be about 45 minutes each. it was not exactly how I pictured. Rather than having one 45-minute appointment in this one area with the one doctor, we actually were kind of bounced around. I'll go into a bit more detail of what the actual appointment was like in a second. And the final thing that you'll need to bring with you is a form of payment. So when we arrived, we told them about the appointment. They took our passports straight away, and they also took payment straight away. So it wasn't like a pay later once it's done kind of thing. It literally was like, you haven't even sat down and we want your money. Because there is a urine test involved in what we were doing anyway, they asked that we drink about 2 litres well before. Basically just make sure you're really well hydrated for like the 24 hours before is what I would suggest, otherwise you're gonna have to pee a lot. It can't be too concentrated or too diluted, so yeah, just take it easy, don't take it too strictly of chugging 2 litres in the waiting room. And also they say that you cannot be bleeding when you do the urine test. On to the actual appointment itself. I enjoyed it. We actually had a really fun day. I think it was a couple hours of everything until we actually were officially done and left. That's because there was 2 of us. So I don't know if that's usually how it's done. I don't know if different hospitals do different things. I actually kind of preferred this way. It was way less stressful. You kind of got a breather in between each thing, and it just kept it more interesting for my brain, I think, and it felt like it went really fast. It did not feel like 2 hours at all. Greg's stop.
What time is it now? Like 6:16?
It's 6:21. And we've stopped off, which we didn't think we would be able to because Google Maps is fun. Richard's not with us quite yet. We had him, but we lost him. That is sleet, isn't it? Dude, that's like almost snow. It's falling all around me. We've arrived at the hospital and it's beautiful. So we've got some time to kill, haven't we, Sid? Because for some reason, even though on the phone I was told 9:15 and 10:10, in the email it said 10:10, and when we went in and checked, even though we're super early, they said our appointment might not be till 10:40. Yay! We'll see. It's okay. We would have had to have gotten up very early anyway. Please, stop making me feel guilty. Oh no. They gave us a form. It was like a couple pages just to check your information, fill out a couple things, tick some boxes. Some of it was for the hospital and some of it was for Immigration New Zealand. Attached to them, as you can see in the footage, was a teeny little cup.
Okay, I don't know how much of this Aurora's going to get rid of, hopefully all of it.
I do. We had to pee in the cup, if you haven't gathered.
It's pee cup time, so... We're in this together.
Peed in the cup, they immediately took it and started doing the tests on that, and then about maybe 10-15 minutes later they took us to another waiting room literally around the corner. Sat there for a few minutes. Richard literally got up to go to the toilet and I got called in to do my x-ray. So there was just a couple questions, confirmation of like identity, and then I had to put my hair up, and I also had a fleece on that had a zip here, and so I had to take that off because obviously metal, and it just was a flat machine, and you had to like just stand with your like chest up against it with your hands behind you in a certain way and your chin in like a specific way. It was quite uncomfortable, but it was literally 10 seconds. And then once I was done, Richard went straight in and did his. Then once we had both done that, we were waiting in that waiting room for another few minutes. A lovely nurse came and took us. She basically did our weight, our height and blood pressure, but she literally had both of us in there at the same time. And yeah, then she sent us away. We then got put into a busier waiting room, which I think was more like the main waiting room of the hospital. I literally didn't even sit down and they called my name, so I was like, oh, all right then. And then that was the official New Zealand appointment thing, basically. So the lady that we spoke to, she is the one who uploads all of the results onto the application, onto the visa platform. I don't really know how it works. And yeah, that appointment was a little more of the like personal side. She reassured me immediately that I did not need to be in my underwear, which I was very grateful for because it was cold. She asked me a few questions again. She had me stand up and do a little eye test thing. Then we went over to the bed and she checked my hands. Don't know what she's checking for, but she checked my hands. Then had me laid down and she poked at my neck. Then she listened to my heart and poked my tummy, and I think that was literally it. Next was the blood test. She did explain what all the blood tests were for It's like 11 different things. I don't know, but all of them. So I went and waited for that, and then a few minutes before I was called, Richard came down the hallway to join me.
I had to lift my top up
Oh,
and had to do that so she could listen to my lungs.
interesting.
She was like any medical
Yeah.
prescriptions or this and that, and I was like, well, excellent.
Oh,
this
yeah,
and that.
true.
And she's like, okay, cool, no worries. And then she's like, so the blood test is like
Yeah, she said that it's a million different things. Yeah.
diabetes, kidney disease, all these things.
Yeah,
She's like,
so
you'll
much.
probably be fine. I'm like, yeah, that's probably part that concerns me. She was like, so I'll get it submitted within the next 10 days, depending on when that's
Yeah.
done. And she was like, but you can go ahead and do the rest of it whenever you want. So we could do it tomorrow.
Yes, let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah. What's on your hand?
What?
Go that way.
Oh, just blisters and stuff.
Is it poop?
No. It's not poop.
Then we had the bloods taken, again, literally took about 2 minutes. And then before you know it, we were done, and that was the appointment. Yeah, it was pretty chill. I mean, past us, the version of us that's at the hospital now will explain a little bit better probably.
First step.
I can't believe that. What time is it? It's like 11. Yeah, shit. I think.
Pretty quick. Maybe would have started.
Well, I
20
think
minutes ago.
when she called me in to do the visa thing with her, I think that was 10:40 because it was like 10:44 when I was waiting for blood. That was very efficient.
Very interesting.
Very nice job, Nuffield Health.
Yeah.
I mean, we fucking paid a lot of money for it, so I would haven't expected it to be half decent. Yeah, she was like, I'll work around your clothes.
Yeah.
You don't have to remove anything. And I was like, oh, okay,
I mean,
nice.
for the purpose of when you do put this in a video, that might just be how this place does it. It doesn't mean to say
I know,
that
but
won't happen,
the
but
point is what we experienced.
yeah.
Oh, don't practice peeing in a cup if you can, because Jesus Christ.
Friendly fire was happening when I put my.
Well, you've got aim, dude.
I
I'm
know,
blind. I'm
but
going in
there's
blind
also
down
a
there.
little pasta sounds.
I just thought of the word pasta. I can't believe we've just done that. We've been
Yeah.
waiting for that for so long.
If neither of us were sick, I'd give you a kiss, but
Oh yeah.
give you a kiss on the cheek.
Celebratory. Now we can finish our visa tomorrow. I need to send you money because you are out with a lot of money. How's my tummy again? He's angry. Let's go eat a celebratory pasta dish
Right.
with lots of cheese. Oh.
Was it a week? I think it was exactly a week when our medical stuff got uploaded to the platform. If you've got any questions, if any of that was at all confusing, please ask down below and I'll try and explain a little bit better. But yeah, good luck if you've got an application to fill out, if you've got a medical appointment coming up, or if you need to go and book those things now, go do it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be the actual visa application itself. So yeah, very exciting. Bye!